just, to me, again, it's all about culture inside the building. This is one of the absolutely coolest things that you see here when we're talking about building a culture. And a friend of mine who's been in broadcasting for many years is now the president of the Philadelphia Flyers, and he's our friend Keith Jones. And Keith joins us now here. Keith, I appreciate you doing this, man. Thank you so much. I know you're on the way to the rink now.
Yeah, I actually made it here, Dan, getting ready. I'm actually sitting in the stands hoping that they don't start firing off some pregame testing. I can tell you that. But, yeah, I'm excited about the opportunity with the Flyers and also about the game here tonight with Carolina and Florida going at it. It's been a very good series so far.
Keith, tell me something. Is this something that you always looked and maybe wanted to do? Or is this something that just developed and it was a new challenge for you? I know how much you love broadcasting. Was this just something that the stars lined up correctly for it to work?
Yeah, that is the best way to describe it, Dan. Everything just seemed to fall into place, and it is the only team, the only organization that I would have ever considered this type of role. I've lived in Philadelphia for the last 25 years, did morning radio for many years with Angelo Cataldi, and got a great sense for what the city was all about throughout that experience. Was doing Flyers games throughout that as well and getting to connect with the fans in that regard. And I owe so much to the city that I felt like I have something to give back. And I'm going to try, to get this team back on track, get it.
Oh, Keith, you still there? Let's see if we can reconnect here with Keith a little bit here, because I got some questions here. I'd love to follow up. Keith, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Did I cut off? Sorry, Dan.
Yeah, that's okay. Just a little bit there. Keith, let me throw this at you with culture. We're watching something in the NBA playoffs right now. We're watching what Pat Riley has developed down with the Miami Heat. It's a bulldog mentality. It's about the organization. It's about the team. How important is that for you to bring guys with vision that you have on the type of culture that you want to see? Because to me, what I'm watching with the Eagles too, Keith, this comes down and it trickles down, man. If you don't have that culture, I don't care how many stars you have, you're not going to win. How important is that for you?
Sorry, Dan, the signal's just cutting out here inside the arena. So
can you hear me, Keith, right now?
Yeah, I can. It just cut out on me, but I heard what you were talking about with Pat Riley and the Heat, and there's no question that is something to really delve into. There's no doubt that you need quality people that are in positions to make your team come together. Culture is a word that's used often. Really, it's building relationships within where people leave the environment that they're in, the working environment, and feel good about what they're doing. And whatever their role is, they're contributing to the team's success. So those are all the things that we want to try to build with the Philadelphia Flyers, and successful teams have done that throughout all of sports.
Keith, I'll ask you two questions. I know you got a role here. First, I'll ask you about one thing that I was talking with a bunch of NHL guys and how the Vegas guys built that organization. They didn't really have a cap. Did you ever have a problem with the way that Vegas and the Knights were built and the way that they put that organization together, where back in the day, people had to really struggle for a little bit and they were able not to have to deal with a cap? Did you ever have a problem with the way that Vegas built that team with different rules?
Not really, because they paid so much, Dan. And in doing that, they upped the value on every team in the National Hockey League. You look at what teams are selling for now, including the Ottawa Senators, and the prices are skyrocketing because of prices that came into the game with expansion teams. I think that's contributed to it, amongst other things. But I don't feel bad about that situation. You do feel for teams like Florida that did not have the same luxuries, and a big reason why for many years franchises like the Florida Panthers have had difficulties making the playoffs. But I think those advantages are well earned, especially with the price that Vegas and Seattle both paid for their recent expansion teams.
Keith, why is Vegas up 2-love over Dallas in this series so far?
It's a tight series. There's no doubt. Dallas had game 2. It looked like they were going to skate to victory and had that late collapse. Very evenly played series. I would suspect Dallas will get things even with a couple of wins at home, but Vegas is impressive defensively. They're getting lots of stars contributing, including Jack Eichel. That his play has just been outstanding. Great to see him involved in the playoffs. The goaltending has been a lot of different guys jumping in there, but the strength of Vegas is their defense. And I think that's ultimately why they'll win the series, but I do think Dallas will get things even with a couple of home wins.
Last one for you here. How surprised are you what the Panthers are doing to Carolina in this series?
Yeah, there's been moments where Carolina looked like they were going to take over a game, like in the first period of game number 2, but Florida's a resilient team. They're a team that really believes. Remind me a lot of the LA Kings back in 2012, I believe, on one of their Stanley Cup runs as an 8th seed that eventually resulted in a Stanley Cup championship. The stars are shining. Their goaltender has been incredible. Bobrovsky, much like Jonathan Quick. And Matthew Tkachuk is doing his part to ensure victories late in games and really late at night sometimes. So they've been impressive, and I think they're going to be really difficult to stop. But Carolina's a team that competes extremely hard, plays consistently the same way, and I guess they'll go with Frederik Andersen tonight as he gets the net back. He is an outstanding netminder. It's going to take a lot for Florida to go up 3-0.
Yeah, well, Carolina will always be the Hartford Whalers to me, but hey, Keith, maybe at the end of the day here now, maybe you are the more famous guy out of your home city than Gretzky. I mean, now, you're running the whole shebang now. I don't know. I told Wayne you were coming on. He's like, look at Jonesy here, man. What's going on here?
He is the best. He had a great call with Gretz going back, I guess about 7-8 days ago when I was talking to him about the job. He said, well, I'll see you at the final because we are working it is TNT this year. And he says, I'll be the guy with a resume in his back pocket. I started laughing. He is the best. He's been such a pleasure to really get to know here well over the last couple of years. A hometown guy, but he's 6 or 7 years older than I am. Good friends with his family, but now great friends with him. And as you know, Dan, if you're friends with Wayne Gretzky, you're doing things right.
Absolutely. Well, Keith, I'm going to let you go here. And I know that you had to have been torn between two worlds, getting back in it and really being in it and building something that's going to have your name on it. And broadcasting means a lot to you. But there's always something I tell everyone about Keith Jones. Anything he's in it to win it. So, Keith, good luck tonight. Good luck on the calls. We'll be in touch, and I'm looking so forward to you building this Flyers organization back up to what it should be. Thank you so much for doing this, Keith. Have a great call.
Yeah, always good to catch up with you, Dan. Look forward to it in the future. Thanks very much.
You got it. Keith Jones, the president of hockey operations for the Philadelphia Flyers. We're going to take a timeout. Going to run you to the top. Keep it here on the National Football Show.
Do you stream on a Roku, Fire Stick, Google TV, or